Welcome to Marvin Herbert's podcast, covering the subject of nothing but the truth. We cover a range of subjects relating to gang culture, gang crime and gun crime. Nothing but the truth. Subscribe, like and follow. Today we've got a very interesting guest for many reasons. Antonio Vincente, nice to have you on.
Nice to be here, man.
The podcast is about expression, knowledge, wisdom, insight to a load of the youngsters believing that they're leading a normal, conducive life that's going to lead them to whatever they're imagining. Now, I met you a couple of years ago and you've got an absolutely phenomenal story. So I'd like you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and where you come from.
My name is Antonio Vincente, aka Shansi AV. I was born in Angola, came here as a baby, grew up in Hackney. That's pretty much the early years.
Okay, so you grew up in Hackney. How was your family structure? Mum, dad, brothers, sisters?
Early on, it was mum, dad, sister, and me and my younger brother. But there was a lot of domestic violence in the house, a lot of just dramas and just a lot of things going on, and my dad ended up leaving the house at some point. The morning that he left, it felt weird. It's like, I thought he might have just gone, you know, like you don't think about it, but the day felt weird. But I kind of realized like a week later, I haven't seen him. A week after that, it's like, oh, I ain't seen him or heard from him. What's going on here? And it's like, it just, time kind of goes on and it's like, okay.
Say that you was a father figure within that environment once your dad left?
I think I did my best. I tried to become one. I did become one, really and truly, I did. But it wasn't in the best of ways, but I did take care of my...
So your brothers and sisters used to look up to you?
Yeah, early on, yeah. At the time, my mum, freshly immigrated, she was quite sheltered when my dad was around, so she wasn't really out interacting with people that were English, so she never really caught the language, so she still couldn't read and write in English. And so when the bills would come home, I would have to read the bills, and you know, you get the last notice that, oh, we're coming to take everything. So do you know what I'm saying? So you like so I'd have to read those letters. So that kind of created a responsibility that I created in my own mind, basically, that I have to do something to help the situation, to save my family.
Was there much poverty in your home? Was you?
Yeah.
I'm asking these questions because I'm trying to make the correlation to certain behaviours and attitudes, and it just seems there's a very common denominator within the urban culture of this country. You know, so you mentioned that you had a father figure early on, and then that coming to your teenage years, your father, the father figure dissipated and left, and then you became the sort of standing figure of the male dominance within the family structure. And at that point, would you say your mindset was settled or confused?
Very confused.
Very confused. So that led into antisocial behaviours.
Yeah. Because early on, it was like my dad was very, very hard. Like very hard. Like you couldn't do nothing. They would get away with nothing without there being murders in that house. Like it would be really like, do you know what I mean? He was very physical man. Like everything was about being a manly man, and you know, you couldn't cry. You had to do as you're told. You know, he wanted certain things in certain ways. So it was very strict. So when he left, and it was like he had just disappeared, it was like that person that used to make sure that we stayed in line, talking about myself personally as well, was gone. So like my mum would tell us off and little things like that, but she wasn't really on top of us like that because she had her own little issues. So it was like there was no guidance anymore. There was no one telling me this is where you go. So I kind of had to figure out within my means what I could kind of do. So it was like kind of thing where it's like, well, I'm not gonna get in trouble anymore, and I kind of worked. I had to kind of talk to my, like, because my mom was going through so much stuff, so she kind of was like, okay to whatever I was telling her. So if I told her I was gonna be out late on a school trip or whatever, she'd just be like, okay, cool, kind of thing.
So the regimented
Yeah.
father figure wasn't there to keep you in line.
Yeah.
So obviously that must have led to other antisocial behaviours within your environment.
Yeah.
Was you in trouble with the police growing up?
I got in trouble with the police a few times, all to do with possession and intent to supply, things like that.
Possession of drugs?
Yeah, Class A.
Okay, so you was in control of possession of Class A being heroin and crack?
Yeah.
You've been in trouble with the police, selling heroin and cocaine, crack. Did you venture into the cannabis trade?
Yeah.
So cannabis, heroin, crack. Yeah. Then you got arrested. Yeah. So what else happened in your journey, like?
Yeah. So it was a bit like early on. It was like kind of like I kind of, because I had no like real like father figure in the home, and I kind of had to work it out. I kind of relied on my peers and not my older peers to kind of show me what was going on, how to make money, how to survive, and how to feed my family. So I got into a lot of trouble, you know, running around, somebody asking me, yo, come, this situation's going on, come, they've got to back it. Somebody's running out doing some silly stuff, like, do you know what I mean? So it was like, it was just all a bit like chaotic. Like there was no real direction. It was just loads of sporadic, silly stuff here and like, do you know what I mean? Like just constant, just drama, stupid stuff. Like really, truly, just I'd get up, not know what I'm doing, just go to the countryside, sit there, can't really come back, probably spend the money, give some to my mum. Like,
so you go to the country.
Mm-hmm.
Was that to be doing the county lines sort of stuff?
Yeah.
So you travel out of the country, out of the city, go to other cities to sell the drugs, and then come back. Yeah. Wow.
Go into another area outside of London, like the countryside, basically. And you know, you sit in a house, you count money, you might go hit a few, and that's basically country, like, do you know what I mean? It's just, it's the craziest thing. You're sitting in a stranger's house that's addicted to a substance like heroin or crack, and you're a kid. Do you know what I mean? So that's basically what country is, isn't it? You're sitting in this house, or you might be rolling around in the car, whatever the situation is.
So how old were you when you was doing that?
I was probably about 14, 15.
14 years of age doing the county lines, yeah?
Yeah, 10 and 15, yeah.
And how did that make you feel?
At first, it was a scary thing, because obviously I'd just been introduced to it, so it was like, well, I was just up for anything to make money because there was no money at home. So like my friend, when he came up to me and told me about it, I was just like, alright, cool, you want to make money, let's go. So we went. It was like kind of like whoa, like a whoa feeling, like, okay, man's like really doing this stuff, do you know what I mean? But after a while, when I started actually seeing money from it, I kind of felt a little empowered, because I felt like I was actually being like a man, like I felt like I was being something, like I was doing something.
I was achieving something.
Yeah, I felt like, yeah, cool. I'm earning now. Do you know what I mean? I'm becoming successful in a really like twisted way when you look back on it. Yeah, like I felt like, yeah, like my mum needed something, she needed whatever. Here you go, mum. Do you know what I mean? My brothers. Do you know what I mean? I had the chains and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? I was like different energies, different girls coming around me. So I kind of felt like I was doing something. Yeah, like I felt empowered.
Yeah. Feeling empowered, providing for your mum, providing for your brothers and sisters. Did you ever think about the consequences of your actions?
No, I didn't. It's later on, I did, but
after the consequences.
Yeah.
No, but it's what it is. The correlation between the limbic system of the brain and the frontal lobe of the brain is what I'm trying to engage with these youngsters that we come into contact with. Because I never knew why I'd done a lot of things when I was a kid. It was only after, with retrospect, that you look at things that you realise that you wasn't of a sound mind to do something. You've done it out of ego or emotion, right? So you come from a predominantly single parent background, brothers and sisters, you was a peer mentor in the household. You ventured into county lines, selling drugs at a prolific level, to the level where you're providing a living and a bit of financial security to the family. Yeah, and things change, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I had loads of little brushes, like scares, where it was like, whoa, like little attempted robbery kind of didn't pull off the way it was supposed to pull off. Little things like, you know, just little moments where things could have gone left, but I kind of like scraped through. And then my first real, first of all, the first real loss I took that really was like, whoa, that kind of changed things, was when somebody that I was working with at the time, one of my peers, ended up stealing a bunch of money. So what happened was, when he stole the money, it comes back, because this is us. Yeah, so it's us working. So the money gets lost. The guy's like, well, you don't have to pay it. I'm like, I've given you my part of the money, you know, so I'm not giving you the rest of the money. I've already paid my cut. So obviously that results in him
conflict.
Yeah, so then I have to deal with that, and then, you know, so it's like now I don't feel safe, so I'm walking around kind of like constantly kind of the head on swivel. Then I have to deal with that situation. Then from there, I had to...
Can I just interrupt you there? So what you're saying is, the guy that you was working with stole some money, and then told you that you had to pay the money back.
Well, basically, the guy I was working with stole the money from the guy that was...
lying everybody up.
So, but me and him were partners on our venture. So when he stole the money and cut, the guy came to me and said, well, you've got to pay it. And I had my cut of the money. So I said, well, I've got my cut of the money. I'm not giving you no extra money, because I've already given you my half. You know I've given you my half, because you know how much I was supposed to bring. But he weren't having it, basically. He weren't trying to hear none of that. He was just like, well, the money's gone. This is you lot stuff. I can't, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of who did what. Well, you lot have to provide the goods. I was like, I'm not going to do that. So it turned into that.
So the elders ended up becoming the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. People that have been in the game that are older than you, that kind of introduce you or guide you through the game, those are your elders, the people that you look up to, the people that are supposed to look out for you, and kind of be your guide, your mentor almost. And then so then that kind of just evolved into a madness, and getting into scuffles and...
So it's a bit of violence.
Yeah.
Bit of conflict.
Yeah.
And then moving on.
Then moving on from there. So then that was like a knock But then it was like I still kind of found my feet again, found netball. But then I got arrested on that occasion. So then I ended up going out further this time, working with someone else, and in the morning, door gets booted off. I'm sitting in the house. And yeah,
so arm back again.
Yeah. So it was like, then that happened. So it's like, okay, cool. That was a difficult, that was a weird and difficult time, because, you know, my mum was, well, to my knowledge, she was oblivious at that point to what I was up to, and now my house is getting raided. And, yeah, so now it's like, well, what the hell are you doing? Like, what have you brought up, like, back home with you? Like, so it's that whole situation.
How did that affect your relationship with your mum?
She trusted me a lot less. She kind of was a bit now, but she was going through what she was going through. So she, even though she was like, by the time I got arrested, I was kind of like head in the clouds. I don't really care about much at that point. I was kind of already kind of like in a certain mind. I wasn't listening to what mom was trying to tell me. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, I was just very hard-headed, very just, I kind of felt like I knew it all. I had like my vision of what was gonna happen, how I was gonna turn everything around, and I was like, she was like, you're gonna go to jail, and I'm not going to jail. So dumb, all my days. But yeah, so got arrested, house got raided, mum's now on my back a bit more. So then that was like a knock, but then after that knock, I couldn't go back, because obviously I'm still, or in my head, I felt like I was under investigation or something. So I didn't, even though they had put me out on bail, I didn't want to communicate with people, because I felt like, if...
Putting it on people. Yeah,
exactly. So after a while, I got NFA, on further action. Long story short, from there, kind of, it was like, okay, cool. Well, I've got through that. And these times I'm still going between school and like just doing steady stuff. Not really going to school. More time just not in school, because I didn't like school, because the teachers weren't really, they weren't really helpful or people of support. They kind of, I felt like a lot of teachers in that school picked on me, especially because at the time they had found out I was related to someone else that was known to have like a bad name. So after they found out I was related, everything, whether it was something small, something major, whatever it was, it's big problem. So that kind of like I was like, I don't want to be in this place. And then dealing with everything as well, it's like, I don't want to be here. So I wasn't really in school. It's kind of just bunking throughout the majority of the day, going out to South London, North London, West London, just mingling, just
active, getting sociable, networking,
yeah,
albeit in the wrong environment,
yeah,
networking nonetheless. Yeah. So we can reflect on similarities with a lot of the youngsters we're coming in contact with now. Single parent, siblings, trying to fit into society. They don't fit in school, so they find a placement on the road, fall into a peer group, and start making money without any real thought on their journey. So one thing we can take from all of this is that everybody's stories are very similar, okay? Everybody's story starts in a similar way. Everybody's story manifests equally in a similar way. And then it gets to a certain point where things just change forever. And this is the point, well, these are the points that I like working towards, because these are the points that everybody's got to focus on. Because rather than wait to get to one of these points to actually consider changing your life, you should actually start considering to change your life now if it's not correct. And there's no time like the present, you know, because badness is looming and it's waiting and it's prepared for you. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. It's there and it's waiting. So going through a turbulent childhood, adolescence, teenage, he manifested into a young man, very sociable, known in every part of the city, north, east, west and south London. You never had many, did you have many enemies growing up?
Not really. I had a few, like, I'd call them like haters because they never really had a reason to like dislike me. But because, I guess because in my age group, a lot of the, my peers hadn't fully gotten in yet, like that. So I was coming to school like diamond chains on and stuff like that. So it probably, like, this is after a while. So I went from having nothing to coming to school. Yeah. So I guess from that kind of caused a lot of people to kind of dislike me, and I had become really like just full of myself and hard-headed and just
egotistical.
Yeah. I became really bad. Like, I guess when I look back on it, like, it was terrible. I remember having a conversation with my brother, and he had a real conversation with me, and he was like, "You talk down to everybody." Because I just talk, like, but not talk to people, like talk down at them like I'm better than them. And I remember he came to me and he spoke to me and he was like, he really brought down, and that kind of changed, that made me say, you know what, I can't, this is a bit mad. But this was after I had been stabbed as well, so it was all of these things like led to like me going, yo, like, I can't treat people like this is mad.
So you mentioned stabbing.
Yeah.
So your attitude, your personality, your persona, the way you spoke down to people, sort of led up to a situation that I'll let you explain.
So I was getting up to no good, just terrible stuff. So an incident had happened the day before, which resulted in somebody getting a phone stolen from them. Where it was my phone, they was just using the phone. So I was like going a bit mad because I was thinking to myself, which when I'm saying it now, mention the thing, it's kind of like full circle. It's just mad because when I think about it, it's mad because he had just had he had just gone through a traumatic experience, and now I'm sticking it on him like, bruv, you better get me a new phone. Like, I want it tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna go out there and we're gonna, do you know what I mean? And you're gonna get me something new. That's what we're gonna do. So we ended up standing outside on a just standing in the corner, just kind of just scoping the environment, and then a bunch of youths walk past. I'm hard-headed these times, so I'm thinking like, I don't know why I even like had the mindset of that. Like, I was almost like invincible, or like things like that couldn't happen to me. But they walk past, they're looking at me, I'm looking at them, they're like screw facing, I'm like, anyway, so I'm like, they walk past. But then they stop at the top of the road and they look like they're standing there for a minute, they're looking up at the top of the road. I'm like, and the guy that I'm with, he's like, oh, like, what, do you think we should move? I'm like, what, move? Like, dead that, we're here, innit? It's what we're doing, innit? Like, if these youths at one side and whatever the weather, innit? So, you ask and you receive, more youths walk past.